Hi everyone, it's Emily. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today I'm going to be unboxing the Witch's Wisdom Tarot by Phyllis Curott with artwork by Danielle Barlow. This has been a deck that I knew that I wanted to get as soon as I heard about it months and months and months ago before it was released, because I really do enjoy Phyllis Curott's writing, and some of her books have been so important to me and my path, my journey on the witchcraft path. So I just knew that this was a deck that I needed to have in my collection. When I saw the first couple of videos that creators had made about this deck, I was a little bit hesitant about the fact that the system had slightly changed, but I still knew that I needed to get this deck, and so I did. I picked this deck up at the end of 2020 with a voucher that I received through work. I am so glad that I did. So I have not actually worked with this deck yet, although I have unboxed it officially. I have put it pretty much back in the box as it came, so I will show you. So you've got this wonderful sturdy box, and the art is just incredible. Inside it says, "Magic of feather, song, air, awaken, inspire and make aware. Magic of claw, hearth and fire, warm, enliven and inspire. Magic of fin, womb and water, love and dreams conjure. Magic of fur, seed and earth, embody, nourish and give birth. Magic within and around, awaken, spirits, answers and guidance taken." So you get this beautiful book inside, and you can see it is just beautifully bound. It's like a linen finish. It's just stunning. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've heard great things about it so far. And here are the cards, and inside it says, "Ask your question, shuffle the cards, open the book and take a look. Spirit hears what's in your heart and answers with love, wisdom and art." So within this box you also get this beautiful bag, which I actually think the quality of is really lovely. It's like a linen bag with this beautiful print and this sort of raffia tie, and I actually have my Ogham staves in here, so that's what I'm using this for, and I really love it. I think it's so beautiful. So these are the backs, and again they are just stunning, reversible, obviously, just a beautiful star motif. It kind of looks a little bit like a sigil with various different components to it, almost like all the different elements combined. And then you flip over, and this was the order that the deck came in. So you start off with the suit of air. So you have Ace of Air, Two of Air. There is such a lot of beautiful animal artwork in this deck. Three of Air, Four of Air. And in terms of the minors, they seem quite pippish. Obviously they are illustrated, but they are slightly pippish. Five of Air, Six of Air. I just love Danielle Barlow's art. Seven of Air. Danielle Barlow also illustrated an oracle deck that I have on my list, but I don't have yet. Eight of Air. I believe it's the Green Wheel oracle. I think it's available on Little Red Tarot. Nine of Air. 10 of Air. Messenger of Air. So it's actually a very heavily animal based deck, and this is our first human. Well, apart from the Messenger of Air, this is our first human. So this is the Witch of Air, and I'm not entirely sure about how the deck has been restructured. All I know is it's sort of shuffled around a little bit. Craftsman of Air, obviously they've renamed the courts. Goddess of Air, I'm guessing that is the Queen of Swords, Queen of Air. I just love that, it's just stunning. Ace of Fire, how beautiful. Two of Fire. I think I asked Becca. I saw a walkthrough first with Becca Talks and Tarot, and then I saw Candy at Candy Soul and Soil do a walkthrough, and I think I asked them both about how they felt about the way that the deck has been shifted around, and I think one of them said, I can't remember who, I'm so sorry, it was either Becca or Candy, but one of them said to kind of just ignore the reshuffle and just work with them in the similar kind of way, because the card meanings are similar, but the book details more about that. So I do need to sit down with the book and read it. Oh, that's just stunning. So beautiful. Six of Fire. Seven of Fire. I just love lions. I really resonate with lions, being a Leo. Eight of Fire. 9 of fire. So you can see the meanings aren't exactly as depicted in the Rider-Waite-Smith, but I'm sure that you can apply the meanings as well as reading it quite intuitively, which is lovely for a deck like this. 10 of fire. And as someone who identifies as a witch and who works with magic and sort of works with, you know, the earth as an element, I do feel like I could use this more as an oracle in a way. Messenger of fire. I do plan to use it as a tarot, but I'm not entirely sure how I will work with it yet. I just love this. Witch of fire. So I'm guessing messenger of fire is page, witch is knight, craftsman of fire must be king, and goddess must be queen. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't think the genders specifically matter. Let's take a look in the book actually and see if we can see. So in the book, from what I can see, it doesn't actually tell you which of the courts is supposed to be which court in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. So I think it is just a little bit of a deviation. I think maybe when I actually read the meanings of each card, I will be able to associate each one with a court in the Rider-Waite-Smith, and that is probably going to be preferable for me. But for the moment I can't see in the book. Of course, if anyone who's watching this does happen to have the deck and has already read the book and understands that, then do feel free to pop it in the comments box below, because I'm sure that will help some people. By the time I'm uploading this, I may very well have already worked with this, because it does take me some time to edit and upload. So this is the Ace of Water. Oh, I just love all the animals. This reminds me a little bit of the Wildwood Tarot actually, and the tenderness and gentleness that I feel from the Oak, Ash and Thorn. I get this from this deck as well. I don't have a huge amount of animal decks, but the ones I have I really love. 5 of Water, 6 of Water, 7 of Water. Oh, I love this. I just love the little turtles. And the way that they have to make their first dash for the ocean water after they hatch. A salmon in the 9 of Water. I'm assuming that's a salmon. Oh, stunning. This is just beautiful. Messenger of Water. That does actually remind me of the page with the fish in the cup. But also I suppose that could be the knight. The Witch of Water, now this really does make me think of the Queen of Cups, so potentially the witch is to be the queen. Craftsman of Water, this feels quite knight-like, but again it's more shamanistic. It's so much more shamanistic than the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. It does feel like its own creature really. Goddess of Water, and that could be the queen as well. Ace of Earth. So yeah, I do think it's really important for me to read the guidebook. I'm really gonna get the most out of this by reading the guidebook. It is stunning art though, and actually having this deck just makes me want that Oracle deck even more. So I think at some point this year I will have to invest in that. 5 of Earth. Beautiful. 6 of Earth. 7 of Earth. Oh, that could be one of my favourite cards in the whole deck. I just love those wolves. 10 of Earth. That is stunning as well. Wow. My cards seem to be getting dangerously close to my burner, so I'm just going to move it away slightly. Messenger of Earth. Witch of Earth. And then we have Craftsman of Earth. And I've actually just seen the face. The eyes, the teeth, the nose, the mouth. Really interesting. The Goddess of Earth. And this is the Pilgrim, which makes me feel is like the Fool. And you have the World card, which is number 1, which seems strange. This is the point of the system changing. This is initiation. So it is different. The Sun, the Moon. So you can see they're all in completely different order. The Star, that is stunning. But I should imagine, Obviously I will read the book, but I should imagine that they have similar meanings. The maze. Ancestor, I really like that there's an ancestor card, because I do work quite a lot with my ancestors. Healing, that's beautiful. Rebirth. Offering. Balance, this is my word of the year for 2021, so it's interesting that it's got a card of its own. The Wheel of Life. Shaman. Strength. Journey. Love. Wisdom Keeper. Guardian. Great Mother. Priestess. And Council of All Beings. And that is the deck. So I'm going to shuffle the cards for a little bit off the screen because I've never shuffled them before, and then on screen I will pull a card and we'll do a little sample reading. So it's quite a large deck, so I'm just going to try and riffle shuffle it because I think it might be a little bit easier. I'm not the most adept riffle shuffler, as you will see. Thank goodness for editing. Okay. I'm going to shuffle it like this. So, what do we need to know in the collective right now? What is a message for the collective right now? A timeless reading, a timeless message. A timeless message for the collective right now. Whoa, okay. Okay. So I feel like these two falling out together, it feels very synchronized. It literally was synchronized in the way that they fell out. So I do feel that we were getting sort of like a challenge or an issue, a problem, a situation here, and then some form of advice here. And the Priestess, I do feel, is a really, really empowering card for where we are right now, where we find ourselves. So in the Two of Fire, I see a rather barren desert landscape with two snakes climbing up this forked wand. And you have these thistles in the foreground and slightly in the background. And it feels quite desolate, and it fills me with a sense of kind of foreboding, a sort of sense that there are challenges ahead. And with the Two of Wands, I often think about situations that involve some kind of, sort of trial by fire, in a sense, like great obstacles to kind of overcome, but there's also potential there for great success. So I do feel like this is both a warning and also a sign that, you know, there are great lessons and great abundance to be drawn from our situation where we are right now. I think it can feel quite lonely in this desolate place, but the sky is really blue, and I always think about looking at the sky in terms of, like, you know, the mood of a card. So the sky is really looking quite hopeful, I think, but you do have this rather like desolate, kind of frightening looking landscape, depending on your perspective, of course. I believe that thistles are quite a hardy plant. They look like they can thrive wherever they are, and they do kind of make me think about protection and armour in a way that they have got these spikes all over them. I do feel like that's something that we can use to our benefit as well as we move forward within this landscape. I do think that there are obstacles here to overcome and there are challenges here, but I also feel like there are great rewards to be reaped if we are able to forge forward with as much courage as possible. And I think that this is so apt for where I am right now, and I think probably a lot of people will feel like that. I do think as well, with the sort of barrenness of the landscape, I think of the loneliness of some people's situations right now, being isolated, you know, isolating at home, being in lockdown. I'm in the UK, we're in lockdown here, we're homeschooling the kids, and it feels very, very challenging right now. And there are so many hoops to jump through and so many ways that things can sort of go wrong throughout the day, and that might sound really negative, but it's been a real challenge to keep up with the work that is demanded of my eldest, certainly, and also to look on the positive side of things. It's a real challenge right now, and you know, this is my situation and everyone's in a different kind of boat, but I do think that we are all facing collective challenges as well at the moment, and the political landscape as well, and with the environment and humanitarian rights, you know, equality, racial equality. There is so much happening at the moment in the world, and it can feel quite scary, but I do think that there is hope here. And when I think about the fire, the wands, I do think about courage, and I do think about having the strength to forge forward. And I think ultimately the two is about that stepping forward with as much strength and courage as we possibly can, using whatever it is around us, you know, using even plant medicine. And I think you could use this deck alongside something like the Herb Crafters to work with plant medicine, and also looking at the symbology of the snake as well. There's so much creativity there, and the way that they're climbing, it does remind me a little bit of like a Kundalini rising type situation. It is reminiscent of more esoteric kind of schools of thought and ideas around the universe and around the cosmos and the way that magic works. I really feel like there's a lot of symbology here. So with the priestess, I really think this is a lot about not only being grounded to the earth, but also having that connection to the divine. And I love the way that this moon is also a bit like a drum. She looks like she's about to beat the drum and start dancing in a kind of shamanic way. I love the roses as well, and you get this kind of balance of white and red. It feels like there's a real balance here, and it really does feel like she is very connected both to the divine in terms of the higher realms, in terms of, you know, the sky, the universe, the heavens above, but also connected to the ground and a part of the ground. You know, she's not shying away from the responsibilities, but she's also seeking truth. And I feel like her groundedness, her connection with earth, her being present in the real world, which is what witches are, right? We're here, we're present. We're not saying we're above everything, we are here, we're doing the work, we're doing the shadow work. And you know, the High Priestess taps into truths in that way by being connected to both the heavens and the divine. Because you've got the red and the white here, I do see this duality that is reflected from the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. It's like there is the veil in between, and the ability to see past the veil, I think it can be ours if we connect ourselves, if we remember to ground, if we remember to breathe, practice our meditation in whatever way we can, whatever way we're able, how often we're able, and not being too hard on ourselves as we, you know, forge forward in this landscape. And I think that there's a lot that we can learn from the High Priestess as we are going through these challenges. So I really think it's about, you know, connecting to our intuition as well, and connecting to things that bring us those psychic hits, and, you know, whether that's spending more time in nature and connecting to the trees and the earth and grounding and centering and meditating in nature if we have the time to do that and the space to do that, or even if it's just lighting a candle in the evening and doing a little bit of meditation on the flames, doing some dream work, you know, working through our dreams at night, and then shadow working things, using prompts to journal and shadow work, and that way we can become more in touch with our inner priestess as well, and come up with solutions to our problems and ways in which we can forge forward and do things better. Because I think that that's something that I'm really learning about, learning new ways to do things better, how I can do things better, especially as a mum. I think that's my biggest challenge right now, with the challenges that I'm being dealt and that I'm faced with. So, you know, there are many ways that you could read this depending on your situation. And so if anyone has any thoughts or intuitive hits coming from within, either from looking at the cards or from drawing on knowledge of symbology and traditional meanings, or if they have like an intuitive hit about what this means for themselves, please by all means apply those meanings. And if you feel called to write them in the comments box below, please do, because I'm sure that other people would like to see that as well. But yeah, this is what I get for it from me. I think I am going to definitely look at the Herb Crafters Tarot and using this alongside the Herb Crafters as well. I think it's so beautiful. So yeah, that is my little sample reading with the 2 cards that came out of the deck for us, and I think they are just stunning. I am so thrilled with this deck. I cannot wait to delve into the book and read a little bit more about it. I think it's just going to really open up the realms of knowledge, and I actually think this is going to become a favourite in my collection. I'm so excited to start working with this properly. So thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you enjoyed this and got something from it. If you have this deck and you've been enjoying working with it, I'd love to hear your experiences, any interesting stories so far. And if you're new to this deck, you haven't seen it and you really like the look of it, I'd love to hear from you too. If you've got any questions, do let me know below. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, share it with anyone you think would like to see it, and comment below, of course, if you have anything to share. And if you'd like to see more from me around tarot, witchcraft, magic, spiritual practices, then please do think about subscribing and hitting that little bell notification while you do subscribe. It's been absolutely lovely to share this deck with you. Thank you again so much for joining me. I really hope that you stay well and safe, and I look forward to seeing you in another video really soon. Take care. Bye.